Hello, friends. Welcome in the session of Learning Macroeconomics, and today's topic in hand is circular flow of income. So, to understand it better, let's have our whiteboard. Here we begin. So, when we say circular flow of income, it simply says that income keeps on moving in a circle. Why it so happens? Why the income is generated at all? Income is generated on account of production. What is the root cause of production? Production happens because of human wants. And these human wants are recurring in nature. If one human want gets satisfied, the other crops up. So, to satisfy these human wants, production happens, production leads to income, and income is generated and comes back to the producer once again. And in this chapter, we are going to understand this circle only. So, let's understand some basics. Like for production, what all is required? For production, we need factors of production. And we have read in our previous chapters that factors of production are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. And returns to these factors means what are the benefits which these factors get. Returns are land gets the rent, labor gets the wages, capital gets the interest, and entrepreneur gets the profit. So, for these benefits, these factors of production work, and when these work, production happens, and this production generates income. So let's now understand what are the vital processes, the economic processes which happen in the economy. So production happens. So this is the first stage. Production happens, right? After this production, we say income is generated. And when income is generated, the disposition or the expenditure happens. So this is an ongoing circle, and we say that circular flow of income happens. Let's redo this circular flow in terms of income. Production is called the generation phase of income. Generation of income, right? Income stage or income phase is said to be the distribution of income. And expenditure is said to be the disposition of income. So, this circular flow can be understood in terms of income also and in terms of three stages also. So, now let's begin with this circular flow of income. How do we go about it? See, we know that there are primarily two sectors in the economy. One is a household sector and the others are firms, right? Households and firms. These are the two primary sectors in the economy. So, when we talk about households, what do they provide? These households provide FOPs to these firms, factors of production. When I say factors of production, we know land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur are provided by and supplied by the households to the firms. Right. And what do firms give? Firms do the production and help with the goods and services, and these are supplied to the households. So, this is the basic structure. People go and work there and they produce goods and services. Now, try and understand. Because of this circle, there is another reverse circle which happens. Like because people have gone from household to firms, so the firms give the returns of these factors of production, and these returns go in terms of, I am writing returns to these factors of production. And what are these? The land gets the rent, labor gets the wages, capital gets the interest, and entrepreneur gets the profit. So these are the returns. Returns means we are giving the monetary worth of their services, which moves from firms to households, right? And when households have some money with them now, so what do? They get this goods and services. These goods and services are given from the firms to the households in exchange of money. Which money? Which the firms have now given them for return of their factor services. So this is the consumption expenditure. I hope this is clear. And you expenditure. You would have seen that there are two circles which are visible here. One is in the solid line and the other is in the dotted line. What is the major difference? What do these signify? See, the solid line talks about people and goods and services going here and goods and services being generated and produced. Means the factors of production are going here and goods and services are going here. So it's purely non-monetary. So this dark line circle is called the real or the physical flow which happens in the economy. And because of this real physical flow, the other dotted flow happens. And what is this? This dotted is called the nominal or the monetary flow. Nominal or the monetary flow. See, in this nominal flow, the money which is earned by the people is going back to the households. This money is coming here, and with the money, they are buying the goods and services and paying the same to the firms. So, in this way, you see that production is happening, that is generating income, and income is again disposed for the satisfaction of human needs. So these two circles actually show the concept of circular flow of national income. Here, it's very vital from paper's perspective because at times you are asked, what is real flow? So the whole diagram is not required. What is nominal flow? Then again, the whole diagram is not required. When they say, what's the circular flow of income? Then you can say the whole diagram you may be portraying. Right. So when we say this is the basic model, so is there any other model? Yes, we have. This is primarily two-sector model, and we have another model called three-sector model and four-sector model also, though it's beyond the scope of 12th class as of now. But let me give you a small fair idea of the third sector, which is the government, and the fourth sector is the row. Row is the rest of the world. So point is, whenever we have any sort of interaction with the government, whether the households, like households get to have the transfer payments, right? And what households give to the government? Households give taxes to the government. Similarly, firms get to have subsidies from the government. And what firms give? Firms give the taxes to the government. So when we incorporate this third sector, it becomes a three-sector model of circular flow of income. And when we talk about row, now what is row? Row is rest of the world. Without row, it's a closed economy. Closed economy means there is no interaction with the rest of the world. It's only the internal things happening. No financial transactions with the other world, the world, right? So row means there can be the imports and exports. So whatever money is exchanged, the money going outside on account of imports and the money coming to the nation on account of exports, right? Is the relationship being shown here? Households go out, they give their factor services to the row, and hence the returns of the factor services are generated and given to the households from the rest of the world. So when we incorporate this row concept, this becomes the four sector model of circular flow of income. If now there is one very important concept of leakages and injections. Leakages and injections. Before that, I would just take up one thing, that can you justify the real flow is the root cause of nominal flow? Yes, it is so. Because if people do not go, they would not be given the returns. If the goods and services are not sold to households, they would not be paying to the firms. So actually, real flow generates the nominal flow. And real flow shows, and it's the indicator of the growth of any nation, because real flow shows the production happening in the economy, and that simply gives an idea of the goods and services being produced in an economy, which is actually the definition of the national income. So more and more flow across the household and firms generates the income of the nation and is an indicator of the growth of the nation. So when we talk about leakages and injections, leakages means something pilfering. There is some leakage. So when the money from households or from firms is going out to the government or row, it becomes a leakage, right? For example, the taxes which are paid to the government, right? So these are leakages. Similarly, the payments of imports, right? If imports or the payments on account of imports, these cause the money to move out of this basic loop of two sector. So this is a leakage. But if you talk about injection, injection means something adding to the strength of this circular flow. And what adds to the flow means something coming from these third and fourth sector. So what comes to the from third and fourth sector? Government gives you the transfer payments, the subsidies, right? So when something is added to this basic circle, so that adds to its strength, and hence it becomes the injection. Similarly, how the money from row is injected to these two sectors: when there are exports created by the nation. So these exports will earn the income for the country. So the money will be put into this basic circular model, right? Hence these become injections, and the money when is coming out of this basic loop and going to government or the rest of the world, that becomes a leakage. So it's always tried that there should be lesser and lesser of leakages and more of injections. That's why you see more and more focus given on exports, and again, more focus is given to curb the imports. With this, we are done with the basic structure of circular flow of income. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.